What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to make fire with a ferro rod. Now, the main consistency that you need to keep in your brain when you're going to make a fire in the outdoors is you need the right kindling, and the first step to that is finding dried grass, very light materials. Now, I found this dry grass over here, so I'm going to take you with me. We're going to pick some of this, throw it in our bag, and we're gonna keep looking for the rest of the stuff we need. Now, the bottom is wet. I can feel moisture. So you wanna get this stuff that's been off the ground and dry. And you can rip it out, but I always like to use my knife to just hurry and bend it, cut through, make sure what you're grabbing is dry. We'll move over here, grab this dry. Now you will get some green in there, you can just pull that out, but it's not that important. You just want to find all this dry material, and you're normally going to want a lot more than you first expect to make a good little bundle. And this will compact down, so you want to grab more than you think that you're going to need. About a good amount like that. Put your knife away. And I'll just fold this up into a nice little ball. Throw it into a dry sack. All right.
You can ask the flowers. I sit for hours, telling all the bluebirds, the bill and coo birds.
Next off, we need some small twigs that are about the size of a pencil or smaller. The best way to find these is not off the forest floor. On the forest floor, all of these little twigs are going to be wet and damp and soaking up the moisture from the ground. So what we're going to want to look for is dead branches hanging in the tree. It's getting the airflow. It hasn't been moisturized by the ground. Even if it rained like it did last night, these are still going to be a lot easier to light and hold a lot less moisture. Now, the best thing to tell is these still alive ones, when you bend them, they won't snap off and break. That's not going to make good firewood. You want to get these dry pieces that when you turn them, they just snap and break. These are going to make the best kindling for you. And these are what's going to make your fire really start burning, so you can add larger sticks. Get down in here to these old dried up ones. And like I was showing you, you want about pencil or smaller. A good little handful. You should probably get more than this, but for a demonstration, this will be perfect. Now we want to find some dead sticks about the size of our finger to really really prolong that flame so we can build up to bigger material and get a full fire going. Let's go look for it. Now, a big deadwood piece like this, you can normally break right about here and twist. Gonna poke your eye out, so be careful. You can just sit here and twist if you don't want to use your knife or your saw. Pull it up like this, and this will give me some good pieces to work off of. So I found this piece, and this will be perfect. Just make sure when you're breaking it, you're being careful, breaking it away from you. And we can break this, and you can see how dry that wood is on the inside. This will be perfect for the fire. All right, now we need one more thing. All right, now we're gonna get to the fire. The last piece I brought from home is a log, just to demonstrate doing some feather sticking and other things like that. And I also need to prolong this fire to do another video while I'm out here. But if you don't have a piece like this that you brought at home with you because you're out hiking, just exploring, you want to look for a dead tree that's still standing. Normally you can tell that it's fully dead by it's lost all of its leaves, of course, and you can normally push it over, or if you start sawing or hacking into it, there's not going to be any moisture inside, and it'll be more of a crack than a thud. And that's what you can use for your firewood. Process it into about forearm length pieces of wood. But this will be perfect for getting us started on making this fire. Now I'm going to get my haversack down, disconnect my water bottle, set it over to the side. Now we want to get all of the pieces that we had to start the fire. So you've got your smaller sticks. We're going to place that off to the side. Setting it on a rock instead of the ground is going to help from keeping moisture getting to it. We've got our grass right over here. And then I also found this punky wood. Now, this is from a dead fallen tree. It's got a little bit of moisture, but this dead punky wood is really great for catching a flame and holding on to it and burning for a while. So that was a great find while I was out doing some foraging. Then we've got our sticks right here. And then we have this little piece that I can also get some shavings off of. Now you can plant your knife down and draw this across the blade like that, so you're not doing as much work and you're nice in a steady place. And just get some nice feathers. Just getting some fine slivers. I'm no professional when it comes to making little feather sticks with a flat grind, but all I just need is some little tiny curls that'll help pick up some of the wood. And I can also take this down the middle, take one of these sticks, do a little light batoning, split down that piece, and get some of these lighter sticks to add with these. Now, last but not least, I'll need my ferro rod. All right, with these drier, bigger sticks, I'm also gonna get some shavings to also help with the fire. And I'm just laying this down to catch some of these shavings. That way I don't have to be precise and perfect with a ferro rod. And then I'm also going to scrape with the back of the spine to get these nice fine shavings on these dry sticks. Kind of like a sawdust. And you're going to want a good amount of this. But if you don't want to do this, you can also use an accelerant. Now I always recommend to keep an accelerant when you go into the mountains. I keep mine in this little Altoids Randall Adventure pouch. Now I've got a couple different accelerants in here. Some cotton balls with wax. This rope works really well. Now what's nice about this is you can cut off a little piece, flare it out, and it'll take a spark really well. So we'll actually use that one for this accelerant today. And then I always put it back into my pouch so I don't forget. Now this, we can even just twist right here, pull it apart with our fingertips, and you want this really frayed out so you can catch a really nice spark with it. And you want to pull and fluff it out as much as you can to try and catch all the strikes you get from that ferro rod to really accelerate and get that fire going. Just want to spend a little time with it, pulling it apart, fluffing it up. And like I said, if you don't have that, you can take these dry sticks, scrape them down into a powder, and then it's always nice to use something like this cloth or a bandana to gather it all up right there. Then we're just going to fluff this part up. Then with my knife, I'm going to cut off the parts that I'm not going to use so I can use it for later. Use it on that so we're being safe with our blade. And I can save that piece for a later date making a fire, so I'll throw that down into my bag. And then what we got left is this really nice fluffy fire accelerant to get this started. Now I'm going to roll all this up into a little ball and we're going to start working on our fire. So I'll lay down my two biggest sticks right here so we can start getting some airflow underneath. And then I'm going to add my grass bundle right here. And then right in the middle of that, I'm going to add all these little shavings and everything right here into the heart of it. Then I can also dump that on top, put that away for a minute, and then have everything within hand's reach, because this is going to happen fast. Then we take our ferro rod. This LT Wright Marksman has a great 90-degree spine for striking and getting that fire started. You can also get scraping tools. I have a couple of those. I even keep one in my pouch just in case the knife I'm reviewing or testing out doesn't have a 90-degree spine. But when we're scraping, you're going to see sparks coming off. We want to aim right here for where we have all that fluffed up tinder. All right. Okay, we got the fire going. Want to set our knife and our ferro rod alongside. We want to get this grass burning. Then we want to get these smaller sticks right here. Start catching on fire, and then that punky wood on top. That'll help accelerate and burn for a while. Now that that's burning, we want to get these smaller sticks on and slowly work our way to these bigger sticks so we can get those running and burning as well. And just like that, we made a fire with a ferro rod. But the biggest key to making a fire, whether you're using a bow drill, a ferro rod, flint and steel, is the fire preparation. Make sure you're getting all the right pieces to burn and maintain that fire, or it's not going to work. It's a lot of preparation, and you want to have more materials than originally you would think. But the biggest part of this is extending your fire and making sure you get the fire the first time you try, especially in these colder environments. All right, as you guys can see, I got some bigger sticks on here now. building up this fire so I can get started on the next video. I want to be doing a bunch of these videos. I don't know whether I'm going to call them Survival Skills 101 or Being Proficient in the Backwoods. I don't know. I'll workshop the names, but this is a series I want to do now that the weather's nicer and I have a little more free time, to start teaching more of these wilderness skills for the people who can't take one of my classes or can't go out to a class where they're at and just want to start watching videos so they can start learning these skills, going into the outdoors, practicing these wilderness skills. And it's so everybody can learn. And thank you for following me today on this journey of how to start a fire with a ferro rod. This will probably be the first episode, but I want to do a bunch of these. If you like them, comment, share, all that good jazz. And until next time, go get lost, find a way. Peace.